Chicago!
How y'all doing today?
This is amazing. So many people here to show our lawmakers that we're here to march for our lives. There's so much space. Please fill into the blank space over there to the right. But today in Chicago, for the last year, there were over 600 murders. We're here to march for the students down in Parkland and the students down in the south and west sides of Chicago. Students that are gonna come here today and speak to you about the violence that they experience every day. It's a 365, 24/7 reality for them. Devon, tell it.
I experienced gun violence all the time growing up in my life, and I think it's time to make a change because I'm tired of seeing all us dying, killing each other. So it's time to make a change and say stop the gun violence.
In Chicago, we march for our lives every day. And for all the lawmakers out there who hear that they will not continue to fund resources on the south and west side of Chicago, who will continue to take money from the NRA, you know what we're gonna do?
Vote them out.
Vote them out! 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 Please put your hands together for our first speaker. She's been an activist her entire life on the south and west side of Chicago. From Global Majority Youth Rising and from CCA Academy, please welcome Cheyenne McQueen.
I stand here today for all of those who have died and will die from gun violence. These deaths are not by chance or accident. These deaths are systematically designed. The gun violence that is happening in Chicago daily is happening in impoverished Black and brown communities. Black communities have the highest percent of residents living below the poverty line. In poverty is a man-made scheme by the 1% based on politics, economics, and discrimination. So you don't have to wonder why the violence is occurring or assume it's because we're prejudiced against our own race. It's because poverty and violence correlate. Gun violence isn't the only thing killing us. Inequality is killing us. We experience inequality every day with race, social class, health, housing, employment, education, policing, and justice. 85% of 16 to 19-year-old Black residents of Chicago are out of work. When we are hired, the jobs we work aren't paying us a living wage. Rahm Emanuel has closed multiple public schools on the south side without considering the safety or difficulties those students will have to face. There are some Chicago students who aren't free to go from neighborhood to neighborhood, which impact their ability to get an education and to graduate. There was a student from my school who died March 6th from gun violence, a day before his birthday. I lost so many people to gun violence who never made it past 18 years old. Instead of criminalizing Black and brown people, we need to take the action that is needed to end poverty. I stand here asking, begging, pleading to change gun laws. Please ban assault weapons. Please ban bump stocks. Please raise the minimum age for people to purchase guns. And please raise the minimum age for people to licensing. Help make this a safer world for me and for you. I stand here with people all over the nation. I stand here with you to make the difference that we need to see. Let's put an end to inequality, end gun violence, and let's change gun laws. Thank you.
Let's give Cheyenne another round of applause. My name is Jeremy Liskar. I'm a senior at Whitney M. Young Magnet High School, a few blocks over that way. It's my pleasure to introduce you to our next speaker. He's a representative from the Young Urban Progressives and a senior at Jones College Preparatory, Eduardo Medel.
I was 5 when I began noticing gun violence in my community. I remember the 4th of July and how I loved the flashing colors and majestic designs that filled the sky on that day. I also remember how the colors disappeared and became sudden flashing white on the street corner behind my house. Slowly, the booms and pops becoming police sirens and the thuds of bodies. These sounds reverberated in my eardrums, kept me awake until my mind forced me to rest, becoming accustomed to the evils of the night. I was 9 when I began to see through the mists of adults' white lies. I understood that my friend was no longer with me because he was shot dead and not because he transferred to another school. I was 12 when I feared the police, as anecdotes of police brutality were burned into my mind by the media and my peers. I was 15 when I learned to fear old friends who hungered for power and chaos. Now, even as I stand here, furious at the violence of this world and the politicians who have failed to protect our communities, I feel inspired. Inspired by our generation, a generation that will not rest until sweeping change is made and the barriers of race, class, and geography are limitations of the past. I have seen what is possible. 2 weeks ago, the Young Urban Progressives, a group of students from around the city, motivated to make political change, came together to vote for the very first time. Something so minuscule, but so powerful. We had planned a rally to get everyone excited about voting before we marched to the polls. However, when we got there, we were told that our permits were taken away. A politician exercised their influence to silence our voices. But we marched on. We refused to be silenced, and we went to vote them out. If we want to change the gun laws in our city, in our state, in our country, that's what we have to do. Vote them out. If phone calls, letters, town halls, protests, and marches won't do it, we will just vote them out. This is not just a march, this is a movement. It does not stop here. Join us, fight with us. Bring your mom, your dad, your grandparents, your children, your aunts, uncles, and cousins. Bring your friends and family. Bring the elotero from across the street. Bring the man that sells you ice cream during the summer. Invite those that drive your Ubers and conduct your trains. Invite everyone who influences your world. And even with all this controversy and a rush to pick sides, remember, it's not us versus them. It's all of us working towards a better tomorrow through compromise. When we begin to invalidate each other because we differ from each other, we limit how informed we are. We become tyrannical, silencing the voices of others, silencing the democracy this nation was founded on. making the problem about politics and not the real problem. That people are dying every day. These issues affect all of us. Guns affect all of us. Thank you for your time.
How amazing was Eduardo? My name's Jordan Michaels. I'm 24, and I'm one of the student organizers for March for Our Lives. And coming up right now is some amazing students from Kids Off the Block.
Oh, shit. Bro, this one's shorter, bro.
My name is Malcolm. I'm from Kids Off the Block. I've been with Miss Diane for like 4 or 5 years now. I lost many friends and family to gun violence. This has affected me by making me want to help others, especially people that look like me. I would like to see all gun violence stopped, to see better systems and places to support dealing with gun violence. If there were more people in the community like Miss Diane that were willing to help support young people, and our communities would be filled with love and compassion. I would also like to see better policing in my community, police who care and are invested in the community they work in. Lastly, I would like to see more community activities. For way examples, Kids Off the Block hosted a 24-hour peace jam where the entire city came together where there was no gun violence for 24 hours. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dontrell Dismute, and I'm from the Kids Off the Block organization in Roseland. Gun violence played a major part of my life, directly and indirectly. When I was 16, my friend was shot in front of my house. This is a traumatic experience for me, and I know it will be for a lot of other students. Youth that go through traumatic situations like this need support and may need help. In our communities, Black and brown teens would benefit from social workers, psychologists, and people that can talk things out with in our schools.
Hey everybody, my name is Denzel Russell. I'm a member of Kids Off the Block. Gun violence has truly impacted my life. I've watched one of my friends get murdered while we were playing on the basketball court. That experience had me frozen and speechless. I'm here today not just to tell my story, but also hoping I can help change the way my community solve problems. I want the world to see that we're marching for our lives #every day, because this is our reality. I want to see all social classes and race come together to help all communities. We can come together for a march, but are we willing to come together to take action? Action will always speak louder than words. I would like for this message to show youth and adults in our communities that gun violence is affecting us all, even when we don't realize it. It is time that we come together and help make a change. Thank you.
Toomey, and I'm a senior at Lane Tech. I'm also one of the organizers. Our next speaker is named Jalen Kobayashi, and he is a junior at Whitney Young. He will be performing his piece, The Zoo, and he also recently won Louder Than a Bomb for individual performances.
How's everybody doing? This piece is entitled The Zoo. My city a zoo of brutes. Our fountain don't spout, only thing sprouting is youth. Gorillas with banana clips armed like gorillas with bandanas slipped into palm to conceal a still, to still be still, a seal of trust or a meal for trust while our heels don't touch the pavement of our exhibit. We exhibit what we feel. We don't feel up, we feel out. Autopsies, wish we was on top, see we feel in. Chalk outlines, outliers, lions. Call my city mutant, call my city mutiny. Place my municipality under scrutiny. My youth be the hippos. But look into their closets where they hid poles, and you see why they keep their hands on a hip pole. Least brandish badges with arms and hammers. My city a war zone where wardrobes warrant war drones to zone in. We put our creations in cages, call them creatures for their features. There wasn't a time when my feet wasn't weary, but my reason for breathing, being my city. My buildings like habitats, our habits for having gats, but I ain't having that. I say we resilient. We the cement men and women we sent from heaven. We ain't heathen, we just children who need teaching. Our teachers like zookeepers. The ringleaders dangle our freedoms in front of our faces like funding. Who need it? Our youth seeking outlets, but this captivity still captivating. Our sidewalks were cappers trained by Captain Steel, aiming stainless steel from these souls that were the Glocks that we bolding. If we broken, why do we need Glocks to be holding? To be holding my modesty, my city, honestly, gravity. Monkey see, monkey do. Where kids kill kids for enough money to buy a Lunchable. It's easier to buy a gun in this city than pluck a tooth. No wonder why all my people doing drills with face masks covering mouths to conceal. Second Amendment won't be mended cause a million white men won't meddle to pretend like they hunting deer. My shorties got pellies as they hunting gear, but I don't live in fear cause we all living here. And the C-17 in this city is such a blessing. But to be the first, we gotta get rid of the second. These ain't pellets we talking about. I swear these lethal weapons, all these heaters stretching our youth leaders, feeding from these states like Indiana, who D-. I swear they let these cats feed liners, but we don't get 9 lives. We got 9mm militias, but we seen as the thugs. When Billy Joe Bob in Dakota get to keep all his slugs. But this ain't just for parkland. This for the kids from Humble Park laying on their hands after getting hit. This ain't just for Columbine. This for the folks who walk up in a gun store, pick out a whole Columbine eyes. This ain't just for Sandy Hook. This for the manpower in these guns, enough to have the whole planet shook. This ain't just for Virginia Tech and Maryland and Colorado, cause this also for the colored kids I know I say we can combat. Matter of fact, I say we can come back. Breaking out these cages that we placed in my city. No, these bullets got names and faces from the people in my neighborhood scared for their life to the people trying to kill us who are scared of our life. I breathe the life back in my city. No longer held down, no longer looked at but never looked into. Until the day my bond is broken with my hope is never spoken, I will know that I too have made it out from this zoo.
Is that for me? Oh, it's not for me. Okay, go. Give it up for Jalen one more time, huh? Hello, everyone. My name is Kate Quinn, and I'm a second-year student at the University of Chicago, and I'm also an organizer. But this isn't about me. Our next speaker is many things. She's a straight-A student. She loves to read. She's a runner, a dancer, and most of all, she is the future of this movement. Give it up for Caitlin Smith.
Whenever the topic of gun violence is brought up, there always seems to be a very important demographic missing from the conversation: women. Violence against women that involves a gun is a widespread but highly ignored problem in America. Women are 16 times more likely to be killed by a gun than in any other developed country. And in my school, nearly half of my 7th grade class has been directly affected by gun violence, me included. My own brother was shot in the head and suffered extensive brain damage from a gun wound at just 16. I've experienced this firsthand, and it's astonishing to me how unaware and callous our lawmakers can be. And one of the most victimized and discriminated against persons in America is the females. And yet we are constantly shunned from the conversation and are told to sit still and to be pretty. I don't want to end up a headline in the news or a statistic on the charts. And to the lawmakers and congressmen and women and the people who refuse to change seeing this, I hope you do remember that I soon will be voting you out of office. And I have nothing to lose. Not a paycheck, not a title, not an endorsement or a fancy beach house. I think it's time that we make this right and that you start to fear me. I am tired of the normalization of mass shootings in this country. I am tired of the lack of media outrage. I am tired of being asked to calm down and to be quiet. I refuse, and you should too.
What's up, Chicago? Let's hear it one more time for Kaylin. My name is Natalie Daskell. I am a sophomore at Francis Parker, and I'm also an organizer for March for Life Chicago. Next up, we have the poetry team from Hinsdale Central High School. Their poem that they will be performing today was also performed at Louder Than a Bomb this year, where they made it all the way to the quarterfinals after competing against hundreds of students from the Chicagoland area. Their piece has gone viral, and it has even been shared by a few of the Parkland students themselves. So, give it up for the Hinsdale Central High School poetry team performing their piece, Trigger Warning.
Hi, my name is Kai Foster.
My name is Amani Marianne.
I'm Ayana Tokati.
I'm Ellie Pena.
And this poem is entitled Trigger Warning.
Warning. Trigger warning. There has been another mass shooting on U.S. soil. We mean trigger warning.
Warning. We've experienced blank school shootings and it's only the blank day of 2018. It's easier to leave the day blank before the next school shooting. He didn't leave blanks, he left kids dead and hurting.
Surprise. Several thoughts and prayers later, nothing has happened.
Reality. Saving gun control to a later date saves time for him to plot his next attack.
100 gunshots erupt in a South Florida high school on Valentine's Day.
But who is really counting?
More than 400 students have been victims of school shootings since 2012.
And that is just in counting. We repeat, blank school shootings have occurred in the first 90 days of 2018, but who is really counting? The media constantly questions the demeanor of the shooter.
Was he isolated?
Did he have any friends?
Did he have a troubled family?
Who the hell cares? The solution to gun violence is not keeping the white male company. But I heard that he was
an orphan,
a troubled teen,
a broken boy with no friends.
Those are all really weird ways to say domestic terrorist. Apparently, guns aren't the issue, it's the people behind the guns. But when these people are reported, law enforcement accepts the kickback and here's a blowback. As a nation, we recoil until the next round shoots our kids in the back. And now we have Kevlar inserted in our backpacks.
People say the suburb of Hinsdale is safe.
So is Parkland and Newtown and Columbine.
People from Hinsdale say cities like Chicago are dangerous.
Want to talk about gang banging, throwing up hand signs? disregard that the violence there is due to white ignorance and unpaid reparations. I've yet to hear about a school shooting caused by someone in an inner city gang.
Bang! The media is constantly fascinated by people of color only when they're involved in a gang. Bang!
For a white male to be considered a terrorist, does he need to be affiliated with somebody's gang?
Bang! I'm a girl who used to have Yoruba running through her veins, and now I can barely utter a phrase unless it's in Valley Girl speak.
I'm a black girl who relocated from the south side of Chicago because her mom wasn't too sure about the school system.
I'm a Mexican gay born in the barrio, but I've forgotten Spanish in order to remain safe.
I'm visibly Muslim and learned to act white,
But somehow we are the targets caught in the crosshairs of victim blaming.
Living in the U.S. is writing a 3-minute poem on the normalization of school shootings.
Living in the U.S. is knowing we're averaging one school shooting every 63 hours.
Living in the U.S. is being judged based on how well you can tell the audience that we've had enough of school shootings.
More and more police officers combing the halls will not protect you.
Locking your doors and blocking your ears will not protect you.
Teachers with guns instead of Shakespeare will not protect you.
4 women of color writing this poem will not protect you.
Warning. We've experienced blank school shootings, and it's only the blank day of 2018. It's still easier to leave the date blank before the next school shooting. He didn't leave blanks. He left kids dead and hurting.
Surprise. Several thoughts and prayers later, nothing has happened.
Reality, several thoughts and prayers later, nothing has happened.
Ash Wednesday is meant to be a day of peace. Valentine's Day is meant to be a day of love. Now we see those we love in pieces. Now those in pieces are turned to ash. This is a trigger warning. 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 Warning.
Chicago, I can't hear you. Are we ready to start a movement for gun reform today? I can't hear you. There it is. My name's Alex Swerdlow. I'm a junior at the University of Chicago. I'm a co-founder of Gather Activism, and I'm here to introduce our next speaker. He's on the executive board of the Chicago Students Union. He's a student at Whitney Young, and he's gonna inspire the hell out of you. Make some noise for Juan Reyes.
Wow, this is amazing. Good morning, everyone. I want to start off by thanking the organizers who made this amazing event happen today. This is crazy. And I want to thank all of you for coming here and marching with us today. The term invisible hand, coined by Adam Smith, claims society will experience unintended social benefits if we pursue our own interests. But this couldn't be further from reality. In fact, when we engage in collective action, the strength and knowledge of all of us will help us create a more just democracy. Government is the institution that represents us, and it's the medium by which we exercise this collective action. Therefore, a responsible yet necessary role by the state is what helps us regulate the powers dominating our society. This is why I'm involved in local politics and encourage all of you to join the great organizations fighting for social change in our city. You too should participate in this collective action. Let us unite and fight to provide improved education that empowers the individuals in our communities, helps our neighborhoods sustain economic growth, provides our people with the tools to overcome inequality and reduce violence in our city. Let's become the government. Neighborhood schools in Chicago are constantly being shut down and lack funding. This leads to low-performing schools, making students more susceptible to the influence of gangs and other criminal activity. Last year, we lost 650 lives due to gun violence. 3,457 people were shot. This is Chicago. We march for our lives every single day. Of course, we stand in solidarity with the Parkland students as they march in DC. What they experienced was awful, tragic, and as a country, we have to make sure it never happens again. The momentum they've been able to create to finally demand gun reform is inspiring. The thing is, Chicago has been plagued with gun violence since way before the Parkland shooting. Suddenly, you hear people are talking about students not feeling safe in schools. But in reality, students in our city's South and West Side have never felt safe. We're told we're the future, to vote and make our voices heard. But how can we, when we see students being shot and absolutely nothing ever changes? Their voices have been silenced for far too long. Our voices have been silenced for far too long. If we're going to march for our lives here in Chicago, it needs to be about those students. We cannot march without representing the communities in our city that are affected by gun violence every day. And I want to make one thing clear. Gun violence will not be solved by the militarization of our neighborhoods. I reject Mayor Emanuel's $95 million police academy. As students, we demand comprehensive, multifaceted solution to end the violence in Chicago. Background checks, license for gun dealers. These are the type of things we expect from our elected officials. But what we're demanding, and what will really change the lives of young Chicagoans, is an education revolution. We need equitably funded public schools. We need our tax dollars to go to new infrastructure. We need higher salaries for our teachers. We need access to psychologists and healthcare. This is what we demand, and this is what we're going to get. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. It's time to change the world. Thank you.
Hello, hello, hello. How you guys doing? My name is Jessica Disu, also known as FM Supreme. Make some noise if y'all happy to be here today. This looks beautiful. I'm an activist and organizer here in Chicago with Chicago International Youth Peace Movement. I'm also with March for Our Lives Chicago. I'm about to introduce a very, very amazing organization who has been doing work in Chicago for over 20 years in social justice with education, utilizing the arts in our schools and our communities. But before I introduce them, I want to let you guys know that this is a moment, and we're trying to turn this moment into a movement. So it's important for everybody who came out today to continue to be committed to helping decrease violence in our own backyards. We got violence happening on the South and West Sides, as we know. Last year in 2017, we had over 670 homicides by gun violence alone. Enough is enough. So we're happy that you guys are out here. So I want everybody to repeat after me. Peace, love, respect for everybody. Peace, love, respect for everybody. All right, also I need you guys to know that there's a coalition happening with young people from all across the city. They're called Good Kids, Mad City. So from Chicago to Baltimore. So if you take out your cell phones real quick, if you're on Twitter, follow GKMC, Good Kids, Mad City 18. Good Kids, Mad City, all right? So I want y'all to make some noise for Kumba Links who coming. Clap it up for Kumba Links as they coming on the stage. All right, thank y'all, God bless. Peace, love, respect for everybody. Peace, love, respect for everybody.
Peace. So my name is Mad Dog, and I'm the program manager and head choreographer for Kumba Links. And so, that's our chant right there. So we're going to do it one more time, one last time. Say peace. Love, respect for myself. Peace, love, respect for everybody. For everybody. Paz, amor, respeto para todos. Ashe, ashe, ashe. I'm bold, I'm black. I like it like that. I'm bold, I'm black. I like it like that. I'm bold. I'm black. I like it like that. I'm bold. I'm black. I like it like that. I'm bold. I like it like that. I'm bold. I'm black. I like it like that. I'm
brown is beautiful and mellow. Brown is beautiful and mellow. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, for me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
Tired of saying why my race matters. 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 Click, clack, boom. Click, clack, boom.
If bullets could scream, would they make a sound as metal rips into flesh? If you were to peel back the layers of my skin, scoop my insides out with a spoon, plop them into a bucket, carve the physicality of me out of its nooks, you would find a confused spirit
Trying to piece together the world around it. Unsure of why this vessel is under attack. Or why they're wearing bullets in place of snapbacks. Colors be under attack. This melanin has no room for shotgun shells. Graveyards have become a tour of this country, mapping out which black body is gonna fall next. Which name is gonna be hashtagged next.
Tired
of saying why my race matters. Tired of saying why my race matters.
Tired of saying why my race matters. Tired of saying why my race matters. We are scared for the future and for the next generation, because as society progresses, we see the fall of a nation that is a product of 1,000,001 frustrations, economic disparity, political corruption, and gun violence, problems that have been built on similar foundations of racism, privilege, the belief that black and brown people are less than. It seems when we bleed, we are almost considered human. When we bleed insanity because our deaths are not a good enough reason for change. When we bleed the millions of ancestral dreams that we will never have to answer to anyone. Flipping the story the same way they portrayed Sandra Bland's portrait rotation. How do you kill a woman and leave her eyes open? Even in death, the system never allows black bodies to rest in peace. Though the physical chains are unshackled, take this into consideration. Where lies the justice supposedly rooted in this land of liberation? 2 hands up don't speak for themselves. Standing up only means we get shot down, so we take a knee in the places you refuse to. Disrupt your entertainment until you recognize that you cause bruises too. Because not pulling the trigger don't mean you don't benefit from the bloodshed. We need some more communication. Start a conversation, because with every false accusation comes another paid investigation, another failed investigation. Another family left to make payments on funeral arrangements. I cried as if each tear would heal each bullet hole they left in you. I cried as if each tear would bring you one step closer to me. I still hear you in this house whispering. I still feel you in my bones, in these veins, like the portraits in the halls. Can't help but think I wish you were staring back at me, but you're gone. My cousin Savoy left for dead in the snow.
bullet holes in his bulletproof skin and call his black was supposed to be tough enough, strong enough, like strong ever saved anybody's life. Like death ain't the one thing testing us in places we didn't even know muscles could build. We all just trying to make it to the promised land where our sins are forgiven and we owe no man, so we gotta make a plan. Challenge the chain of command. Ronald Johnson, AKA Ronnie Man, just ain't run fast enough to shed his blackness, fast enough to change the mind of the man who figured he deserved it. We traded slaves and their masters for cops and their robbers. They copped guns and robbed us of our lives. We speak these words of persuasion, hoping to invoke some inspiration that might spark the kind of mobilization rather than the need for relocation. Because this country, this world, this earth can still be a safe haven as long as we still believe in unification.
I want you to know that I want you to say, if you ever think about me, and if you think about me, niggas, and if you ain't gonna do no revolutionary act, forget about me. I don't want myself on your mind if you're not gonna work for the people. Like we always said, if you actually make a commitment at the age of 20, and you say, I don't want to make that commitment because of the simple reason that I'm too young to die, I want to live a little bit longer. What you did, you did already. You have to understand, the people have to pay the price for peace. If you dare to struggle, you dare to win. If you dare not to struggle, then goddamn it, you don't deserve to win. Let me say peace to you if you're willing to fight for it. Let me say it in the spirit of liberation. I've been gone for a little while. At least my body's been gone. You ain't got to repeat after me. At least my body's been gone for a little while. But I'm back now, and I believe that I'm back to stay. I believe that I'm going to do my job, and I believe that I was born not to die in a car wreck. I don't believe I'm going to die in a car wreck. I don't believe I'm going to die from slipping on a piece of ice. I don't believe I'm going to die because I got a bad heart. I don't believe I'm going to die because of lung cancer. I believe that I'm going to be able to die what I was in the thing that I was born for. I believe that I'm going to be able to die high off the people.
What you know about moving homes? What you know about Panther papers sending hope to your bones where pigs hang around your neck like cheap colognes? Turn the radio on. Turn the radio on. Go ahead, turn up to the latest twerk song and hope that these bands will make her dance, cause the revolution didn't make air. Didn't make news feed, so it lack proof. Feed you news and your knees be screwed. Want something new to feed to you, now you all fed up. Old news, new cool. But we stand at attention. Armed of resilience and Nike, but freedom only range where opinions clash. I pray this shotgun butt will carry you through the sickness, cause we be black. We be black like roof tough naps, not my roots contract, cause we be black like Jesse Cornell black, like Woody Anderson black, like Fred Hampton black, black.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
Run, run. Run, 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 nigga, run, nigga, run, run, nigga, run, nigga, run, run, nigga, run, nigga, run.
Not worth mentioning physicality,
cause running and jumping been our reality. Lunging out of this world
would have been abandoned depression.
These walls, my biggest enemy, using speed as the weapon. Set.
Splash, cup, water face, wake up. Splash, cup, water face, wake up. Splash, cup, water face, wake up. Splash, cup, water face, wake up.
Boom. Started shaking the chairman. Said, Chairman, wake up. The pigs are laughing. Still half asleep. I looked up and I saw bullets coming.
Say 1, 2, 3. We asking you what you see. So shout out to unity. We speak in Coomba Links. Why, 1, 2, 3. We asking you what you see. So shout out to unity. We speak in Coomba Links. Why,
Hi, I'm Alfonso Calderon. I'm 16, and I go to Marjorie Stoneman Douglas.
My name is Cameron Caskey. I go to Stoneman Douglas High School too, and thank you all for coming out here and being part of the change that we need and the change we are demanding together.
This is important, and you guys are the ones that matter.
We understand that for some of you, this is your first march, and this election might be your first time voting.
But some of you have been fighting gun violence for decades. We are humbled by your presence.
Recently, we've been doing a lot of traveling. And we've been able to get in touch with a lot of communities who deal with this every single day. We've been learning from them and listening to them and realizing that our message is the same, it's powerful, and we are stronger together. We have seen lots of local programs that are incredibly effective in reducing gun violence in their cities and have a major positive impact. We encourage you to start programs like that yourself. Mobilize. Let your town stand up together against what's happening. You can make real national change from a small level. Don't be afraid to start small.
Text FIGHT to 788683 to register to vote and to keep up with what's happening next.
Again, thank you all for coming out and thank you for being the leaders in this bright new chapter of American history.
We couldn't be more brief. It is our honor to march with you today.
How y'all doing? Everybody, I got 2 actions for you to take right now. Take out your phones and text FIGHT to 788-683, and then go to this link, gatheractivism.com/MFOL, and take actions that you could take right now to tell your lawmakers that if you don't sign SB 1657, you know what we're gonna do, Devon? Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. Now it's time for you guys to hear a story about gun violence.
My name is Amina Henderson. I work with Voices of Youth in Chicago Education and Good Kids, Mad City. When I say good kids, you say Mad City, good kids. Good kids. Mad City. 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 Everybody make some noise.
Yeah.
I'm here today because what happened in Parkland was a tragedy. But living on the south side of Chicago and working with my peers from everywhere in the city, we've experienced this every single day of our lives. For the past 6 years, I have rallied, marched, protested, walked out, sat in, and met with all people to help end the violence in Chicago. But you know what? This is my first time actually talking to thousands of people. But why is that? Because Black and brown communities are always overshadowed and we're never listened to. We don't have a voice because we're always having it taken away from us. For decades, our communities have been talking about this, but no one wants to pay attention to us. I suffered with depression and anxiety, but the good thing was I had a friend named Andre. We became really close and we hung out every weekend. On February 18th of this year, Andre left a friend's house, and when he stepped outside, he was shot in the back. He tried to run away, but he didn't make it. and the people around me have so many people that we can't even count them of how many lives were taken from us on a daily basis. There are young people walking around wearing PTSD as though it was a backpack on them. Again, there are young people walking around wearing PTSD like it's a backpack, and there is no one here to support them. We have experienced gun violence every single day. We stand in solidarity with Parkland, but gun control is not the only thing that we need. Let me repeat that. Gun control is not the only thing that we need. We need things to prevent these tragedies from happening. Say it with me. We demand.
We demand.
Reinvestment.
Reinvestment.
In our schools.
In our schools.
In our communities.
In our communities.
We demand.
We demand.
More counselors.
More counselors.
More trauma units.
More trauma units.
We demand.
Man.
More.
More.
I'd like for everyone to repeat this with me. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and protect each other.
We must love and protect each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have
nothing to lose but
Again, it is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and protect each other.
We must love and protect each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
Thank you.
Now, it's time to show that in Chicago, we march for our lives every day. Thank you all for coming. Now we are going to proceed to march. Thank you.